Hello fellas, today I'm going to be teaching you how you can make a pathfinding enemy in clickteam Fusion. It's pretty simple thing, really, not anything too big. But to start off, I'm just going to make a little arena here. So I'm going to set up my grid. I'm going to make this 10 by 10 and it originates from 0, 0. Okay, cool. Actually no, let's not make this 10 by 10, let's make this 20 by 20. 30 by 30. Let's go 30 by 30. Last stopper. There we go, nice. I'm just gonna insert a backdrop here. This isn't necessary really, this will just be what's around our stuff. So I'm just gonna do some basic stuff here. Do that. You know, I'm just gonna leave it like this. Right then, this we need to make, pardon me, 30, no, not 3032, Jesus Christ, 30 by 30. Turn snap to grid on, and look at this. Oh. Yeah, what easy way, something like this. Okay, what's it? Thanks. Okay, pause off. Oh, jeez. No, okay, there's that one. Set back off. Relax. Oh, that's alright, that's it. Okay, that's it. Sure. Ooh. And then we see some lines up perfectly. I'll try and set them up perfectly. There. Okay. Cool. Now that we've done that, we're going to want to import some things here. So, first of all, we're going to want to insert an active object here, right? And we're going to want to edit this active object. So this will basically be kind of the ring that the enemy sees you from. So if you overlap with this ring, then the enemy will see you. Sorry, I just hit my microphone there. Okay, here we go. Now we actually have our detection ring. We're just going to rename this detection ring. Detectee on ring. There we go. You're going to want to resize this to what you want. I'll just have it... I don't want it too big, I'll have it there. Okay, that is basically the ring that the enemy will see you from. So if you collide with this ring, then the enemy can see you. But once you're not colliding with this ring, the enemy can't see you. Pretty simple. Right then. Now we're going to want to import our enemy here. So active object here, we're going to want to edit this. I'm just going to do something really simple. I'm going to get this and I'm just going to draw. Oh, that's a little big. Right then. Amazing art, I know. Here is our enemy then. We're going to want to rename him Enemy. Nice. We're just going to put him here. We don't really need this on the scene, so we can just have this off the side here. And then we're going to now want to import our player. So here we go. Here's our player. Watch me with my amazing skills draw the most amazing art you'll ever see. Ready? I don't think you're quite ready. Bang. Amazing. We're just going to want to rename him Player. Here's our player. Now we're going to want to set up some kind of control with him. So we're going to properties here, 8 directions. We're going to set his speed to 20, his acceleration to 20, and his deceleration to 20. I kind of got that mixed around, but that's okay. We're going to switch him to WASD controls because I don't really like the arrow keys much. Player control, set key, up to W, edit this, set key, 2 to D, set key, 1 to S, and set key 3 to D. There we go. And now if we play this, we should see that our player moves using the WASD controls. Nice. Right then, first of all, with this enemy, we're going to want to give him a bouncy ball movement. So where's that? Bouncing ball. We're going to give him a speed of 5. Now this is just the speed he is before he sees the player. Once he sees the player, he goes faster. Or he starts running, you could say. I'm just going to put this in a folder. Okay. Right then. We're going to want to set an every statement for our little enemy here. So every 2 seconds. Movement. Bounce. This just means he'll be walking around by himself when we start. So if you see here, every 2 seconds, he should switch direction. He's not switching direction. Where's he going? He's gone. Oh, speaking of which, we're gonna make collisions, haven't we? Okay, so you collision, backdrop, movement, stop, collisions, backdrop, movement, stop. We're gonna put this in a folder called collisions. And now we're going to want to go to our frame and make these objects. So if we go to runtime, obstacle, and since this is copied, it should transfer to the bottom one as well. So properties, runtime, obstacle. I'm not sure if this is copied, so I'm just going to check this one. Yeah, this is an obstacle too. Okay, cool, that's fine. Cool, so now when we start it, he should... Oh, I'm smart. Sorry about that, I set it so that every 2 seconds we bounce, instead of the enemy. Don't know what's happening. Right, movement, bounce. Once thought the enemy was going in the straight direction. Look at this. Well, something's gone wrong. Or nothing's gone wrong, it's just being dodgy. One, two, and then bounce. No? Don't want to bounce. What on earth? Well, we got to move him around anyway, so I'm just going to leave it at that. So that needs to go into collisions. Right then. So now that we got his movement, and despite it being dodgy, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to want to set an always statement, and we're going to want to set the position of this ring to the position of the enemy. Now you should see when we play this. There you go, that's the enemy's detection ring. If we get inside this, once we've done the code, then he'll start chasing us. In fact, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, because it's not a very large detection ring right now. Might be a little bit too big. Okay, cool. So when we're inside that ring, he'll start chasing us. Nice. We're going to want to go over to our code here. We're going to want to set it so upon the player here, overlapping another object, the detection ring, and we're going to want to change the direction of the enemy here. Look in direction of, and then the player. Okay, once we're here, we're going to want to change the speed so that he's faster when he is looking at the player. You know, select our enemy, movement, set speed, let's go with 15, because we don't want him faster than the player. The player is going 20, so this means that the player can run away, you know. We're also going to want to set here that upon the player overlapping of another. I can't speak today. Overlapping the detection ring. We're going to want to negate that, so therefore, when the player is not overlapping the detection ring, we're going to want to set the speed of this fella here to 5. This means that when... Oh days. Oh Jesus. Oh wow. He's fast. Might change the speed. You'll notice that when we escape this ring, if we escape this ring... Oh wow, he's fast. Anyway, you can see that the system works here. Hold on, I need to change his speed. It's literally impossible to outrun him. We're going to edit that. We're going to set speed to 10 for now, just so that I can show off what happens if you outrun him. If you outrun him... There we go. He sets his speed back to 5, and he goes slowly, and kind of just moves around like he would usually. Cool. Now we want to give the player some health so that the enemy actually damages the player when he touches the player. So we want to go to properties and set an alterable value called health. The player will have, let's go with 100 health. Now, we're going to want to go to our frame here. We're going to want to insert a counter. I call this counter player health counter. I'm going to make this slightly bigger, slightly bigger. Okay, that's better. And just put this in the corner. This means that we can always see our health there, but right now, that's not saying anything because we haven't actually set it. So, I'm going to do that now. I want to go over to here, set, and oh, actually, we have an always statement up here, don't we? Might as well use this one. So, actually, I'll use a different one. So, always set counter to the alterable value of health. I forgot to press OK. Well, I'll be done. Set counter to the alterable value of health. There we go. Okay. So now that should display 100, and it does. That's good. What we're going to do here is we're going to go into the enemy, and we're going to give them a qualifier. Qualifiers are kind of helpful because they just categorize things. Like, you can say, if enemy collides with player, then retrieve the amount of damage that the enemy does, and then inflict that damage on the player. It's a pretty helpful system. If you learn how to do it, use them as much as you can, because then you can have different types of enemy and just use them all in one little group thing. Cool. Now we are going to want to give the enemy some damage, so we're going to set an alterable value, call that damage. He's going to do 10 damage. Cool. So, we'll set a thing here. Every... let's go with half second. So, 50 milliseconds. Enemy has to be overlapping the player. Every 50 milliseconds, we're going to want to set, where's health? Altered values, we're going to want to subtract from health the value of damage. Oh wait, of course, we've got a qualifier, haven't we? So we want to retrieve damage. Get rid of that. Okay. Cool. So every time that the player collides with any type of enemy, it will retrieve the amount of damage that the enemy does, and then it'll subtract it from health. So we should see in the top right here, our health goes down every half second. But right now, it'll just go into the negative numbers, so we don't die at all. We're just going to set it so that once the alterable value... where is it? Once the alterable value of health is equal to 0, should I say 0 or lower. There we go, lower or equal. We are going to want to... Let's just... For now, we'll just reset the frame. Where's, Oh. Restart the current frame, there we go. Now we should see, once we're over here, if we die... Give it a second. Or should I say 5 seconds? It'll reset the frame. So that works. It's kind of good, isn't it? Now, the only problem with this system is that the enemy can kind of see you through walls, and it will get stuck on walls, and that's not exactly a good thing. So if we, for example here, let me go into the frame here, I'll just import a backdrop here, make it very simple. Not going to do anything fancy with this. We're going to put this here. Okay, I forgot to make a collide. Okay, in the actual game, once we've done everything, we're going to want to set this to invisible at start. So, uncheck visible. Ooh, visible at start. Cool. Now you'll see they kind of get stuck on the wall here. Sometimes, I've had this in the past, when the enemy collides with the wall, they somehow manage to break the game completely and then phase through the wall. So you kind of want to make your walls thick enough so that the enemies don't exactly do that. But here you go. We can set it so that the enemy doesn't see through walls, but for the basic system you're going to want to keep it as this. I'm going to change it here so that you can see what you have to do if you want the enemy to not see through walls. Here we go. So we're going to insert an object here, active object. Gonna edit this. This is just going to be. There it is. This is just going to be a tiny little ball. Okay. Cool. We're gonna call this pathfinding. What should we call it? Projectile. Did I actually just spell projectile wrong? Amazing. There. Okay, cool. And we're going to edit this. We're going to just change this up. Instead, we're going to set this as a hollow ring. Okay, we're going to change the size of this because this is massive. Okay, cool. So, since we just edited the art, pretty much, it will still be this. But what happens right now is if we collide with the little ring, it'll see us. It won't see us any other time though. But that's what we're going to change. We're going to go here. Gonna uncheck visible start. Actually, no, we're not going to uncheck it yet so that you can see what happens. Okay, cool. Going to want to go to here. We're going to want to set it so that if... Actually, we can just replace this, can't we? Not going to replace that just for easiness. Okay, so collisions. The player is overlapping another object. That will be the pathfinding projectile. Then what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to set it so that the enemy chases us. Actually, get rid of that. We can just edit this. Okay, so pathfinding projectile, collisions, overlapping another object, the player. I'm going to do the same here, so we can just Control C, Control V, delete that, and then negate this. Okay. But the problem is, this won't be doing anything right now, so if you see when we run the frame, literally nothing happens. But the only way we can die is by walking into it and dying purposefully. So, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to set it so that every millisecond, this does lag your game, but it's an easy fix to the enemy not seeing through walls. So, basically, we don't want the enemy to see through walls. I think I phrased that a little bit weirdly. So every millisecond, we're going to want the enemy to launch an object. That will be the pathfinding projectile. Launch in selected directions. We're just going to select every single direction, so it will fire in a random direction. Okay? Now, oh my days, something's gone horribly wrong. Okay, cool. So you'll see here, little bit of a problem. This just stretches out for miles. We don't exactly want that. We want it so... Actually, here we go. We're gonna duplicate this 2 times so that it launches more projectiles. We're going to want to set it so that when this overlapping another object, our little detection ring here, we're going to want to destroy you. Okay, now we'll see it's only in a certain area. Although the problem is this does make a lot of objects, so it could lag your game a little bit. A little bit of a problem. We're also going to set it so that when pathfinding projectile collisions overlapping another object, I didn't mean that. When pathfinding projectile collisions, backdrop, then destroy pathfinding projectile. Now you'll see he can't see us if we're behind this wall here. Hold on, let me get him to come over here. Can't see me. Can't see me. Okay. Right. When you've actually done this, you're going to want to set this to invisible, because nobody wants a little pathfinding projectile around. Right. Since that's a little bit dodgy, we're just going to, in this always statement, we're going to insert that this is always invisible. And now it's invisible all the time. See? He comes chasing after us, and then we go behind the wall, he can't see us. Anyway, I hope you found this somewhat educational, and can use this somewhere in any games that you decide to develop. Thank you for watching. See ya.